That was a little bit of a smooth transition right there. John and I have done this before. I followed John, another industry through the chairs, and so we're kind of used to handing the gavel back and forth to each other. I'd like to recognize the current board, the district committeemen. If you'll please stand and be recognized. The past chairman, will you stand, please, and be recognized? I'd also like to recognize the chairman-elect, A.J. DeMoya, and Secretary-Treasurer Henry Mayfield. Along with the rest of the executive committee, Scott Pittman, Keith Waugh, Nat Fisher, and of course, John Morris as past chair. You've heard Bob and you heard John thank the hotel staff, and they are great here. The last time we were in this resort at this hotel was 1999, and it was my first FTBA convention. It was, I'd been working for Ranger Construction for about 9 months, and was nervous, didn't really know anybody, and we were sitting in the lobby, and I just reminded Bob of this story, and I don't think he remembered, but it was something that I obviously haven't forgotten. We were sitting in the lobby and uncomfortable, just kind of looking around and in awe of everything that was going on and all the friends and everybody, getting back together, which it really is something to see and something to enjoy, this big group together. And we sat there, and Beverly and Bob sat down across from us, and I think they could see that we were uncomfortable, and they were just making small talk with us, and I didn't know what to say. And I said, well, how long you been here, and how long you going to stay? And Beverly, in typical Beverly fashion, said, not very long. He's almost done. Well, that was 18 years ago. But Bob said, well, I'll make you a deal. I'll stay until you make it through the chairs. So it's kind of funny, and now you're retiring next year, so kind of a neat story. My family is here. My mother and father, my 2 kids, and my brother flew in for this. Now, they have never seen me speak before. And my kids I still don't think, believe what I do. So a little help, make me look good, a little applause every once in a while will be appreciated. Thanks, I'll be at the bar later. Thank you. A little bit about me. Moved around a lot. My dad worked for Western Electric, which was prior to the predecessor to AT&T. We moved around a lot. It was like being in the military. Moved every 2, 3, 4 years or so, which wasn't a problem. I don't think it affected me in a bad way, or my brother. I think we turned out okay. I graduated high school outside of Chicago. Big Cubs fan, big Blackhawks fan. Can't see anything, but that's got to be the Kellys over that way, right? Okay. And then I went to Alabama. Roll Tide, right? There was a lot of that last night at the costume party. I didn't hear any boos last night. I had a great time at Alabama. I had such a good time. I was there for 5 years. So I've told people that I was in like the ultra honors program, but then they check and there's no such thing. I just really enjoyed myself. Maybe took a couple classes, maybe a couple times. Graduated from Alabama after having a great 5 years, and I went to work for Okaloosa Asphalt and Cloyce Darnell up in Fort Walton Beach from 92 to 98. And the one Cloyce story that I have that really sums up my experience with Cloyce was I was new. They put me in some, like back in the broom closet or something. I had a desk, and they gave me the the 81 gray spec book and a couple pads of paper and pencils and stuff, and just said, go in the back and read the book. So I read the book, and then I started managing a couple projects, and there was a problem on one of the jobs, and I didn't understand how to write the letter, what to do, and I walked into Cloyce's office and said, I've got this problem on the job, and he kind of frustrated, he looked up and he said, well, did you read your Bible? And I'm like, hey, I'm not really a religious guy, I'm not sure how the Bible applies. But all right, maybe there's one in the desk and I just didn't see it. And so I went back to the office, and I got about 3/4 of the way, and I'm like, I know there's no Bible in the desk because I looked through the whole desk. So I go back in and I'm like, I don't understand how that applies. And he reaches down and he pulls out the gray book and he goes, the Bible, son, did you not read your Bible? And that was kind of my introduction to specifications and contracting and understand what you're doing and read the book. And Cloyce was great with that stuff. I learned a lot from him. But then in '98, I needed something else. And I went to work for Ranger Construction and Mike Slade. And aside from what my father taught me on how to be an adult, Mike Slade taught me how to be a professional. And I owe him a ton of respect and gratitude. And he is, in my opinion, one of the most deserving people being in the Hall of Fame. I can't tell you how much I got out of Mike Slade. So I started thinking about what I really wanted to talk about, and I appreciate all the comments while I was walking around the last couple of days of how's your speech going? You better be good. You better be good. So I had like a really short one, but now I'm just going to stretch it out just for everybody that made the comments. So, but you're not going to stand up here and change lives, and it's nothing dramatic. The only people that I can affect with what I say really are my children. So I started thinking about what was important to me, and just like John said, and last year we talked about family, it was family. And so I've got a couple of families that I'd like to talk to everybody about, and I'll start with my own. If there are any new parents in the room, when we're done, find my parents. They knew what they were doing. My brother and I turned out pretty good. They're affectionately known. I think once you become a grandparent, you're not mom and dad anymore. You're whatever your grandkids decide to call you. So Meemaw and Meepaw have been around the conventions the last few years, and they are special. They are very special. From my mom, my brother and I got the gift of gab. Neither one of us are all that shy. No one's a stranger to my mom. She can jump in any conversation at any time, and as some of you have seen, she does. But she taught us to be fair. She taught us to be fair and to look out for other people, and that fair is important. She had a saying that my kids have heard already. As we were going out, if we'd be going out one night or something, I would get the quote, and it goes something like this: when you're going out, if you can't do it on top of this roof with a helicopter spotlight on you and your grandmother inside that helicopter watching you do whatever you're going to do, don't do it. And my son has heard that story. Probably will hear it again. From my dad is a quiet guy. But when he says something, still, my brother and I sit up straight and we pay attention because it's important and it means something. He has a very strong sense of right and wrong. Not black and white, right and wrong. There's a huge difference. And he taught us right and wrong. Taught us to be competitive. Taught us to do our best all the time, not just when nobody's looking. And just gave us a really strong work ethic. And thanks, Dad. The quote from my dad that I have used on both my kids. You come home from school, he comes home from work. I got an A. What'd you get? A 92. Well, where's my other 8? Where's my other 8%? So that's that competitive thing that my brother and I still have to this day. And I think my brother and I are proof that we've got just great parents. Speak about my brother a little bit. which I'm fortunate that he was able to drive down and make this tonight. He came in late last night. My brother and I, like I said, very competitive growing up. My brother went to the Air Force Academy on a $1 bet from me. I applied and I couldn't get in. So 4 years younger than me, when it's time for him to start looking at schools, he said, well, maybe I'll just go to the Air Force Academy. You couldn't get in. And I said, all right, smart ass. I'll bet you $1 you can't get in. He gets in pretty easily. So he's there. He does the Air Force Academy thing. He plays rugby. He graduates in '95. F-15 fighter pilot. Flew in Okinawa. Has flown in Iraq, Southern No-Fly Zone. Has flown missions in Afghanistan. Spent time in the Pentagon recently. And last September pinned on Colonel. He's now working at Nellis Air Force Base as the 53rd Test and Evaluation Group Commander, and I couldn't be prouder. My brother is a great person, a good husband, and an even better father. I don't know, there's a picture of his family. Now, my kids are scared to death over what I'm going to say. Because I told them I've got a 25-foot projection screen and a podium and a microphone, so look out, right? So I've got a 15-year-old son, Logan, and a 10-year-old daughter, Riley, that I cherish. I do everything for them. And just a quote that I think is important for all parents with children. Your children are a reflection of what you have or have not taught them. They show the world every day what kind of person you are, okay? And so here's some pictures of my kids. I didn't put any of the bad ones in there, I don't think. My son, like I said, is 15 years old, computer gamer, growing into an incredible man. He's wearing his first jacket and tie today. It's a beautiful thing. He's kind to others. That's a good one. He's kind to others. I enjoy watching him figure things out. He's inquisitive, and it's just a pleasure to be around him. Love you very much, son. My daughter, Riley, smart, beautiful, an incredible gymnast. Same glow in her eyes when she's figuring out something. Also, cares deeply about her friends, and she's just a beautiful girl. Love you too, Riley. Another family that's very important to me is the Vasilio family that I work for. I consider them more than just an employee. They are truly a special family. Fourth generation construction family in business for 79 years. That's something to be applauded for sure. An amazing family, generous with their time and their money, very philanthropic, and best of all, they're very patient with me. Their board of directors, Leo and Catherine Vasilio, Christopher Vasilio, and Michael Vasilio, who's here tonight with his wife, Angela. Thank you very much. They preach to all of us, do the right thing all the time. Of course, cash is king. Everybody loves that one. But always do the right thing all the time. They give me plenty of rope to hang myself, but then they make sure that I don't. And I appreciate everything that they've given me and do for me. Thank you. It's an honor to be up here in front of this group. I have some really close friends in this room. And I respect everybody for what we do and for what you do as individuals. The third group that I want to talk about, the third family, is the room, our FTBA family. and how important it is to me. On bid day, there's some of you, I'd like to kill you. I mean, come on. but I'm sure it goes the other way. But I pick up the phone, or I'll shoot an email or a text when we're not low and say, congratulations, good bid, good luck with that job. And I don't mean it like it may sound. I mean, good luck with the job. So, so if you get that from me in the future, I do mean it. Good luck with the job. I can't wait for August to come around every year. I really love getting together with everybody. I mean, my cheeks are hurting over the last couple of days, just smiling and shaking hands, and everybody's catching up and telling war stories and sitting down in the lobby, and everybody's hugging, and Bonnie's hugging everybody, and it's just, it's a great group to be around. We are fierce, like John said, we are fierce competitors, but this room cares for each other at the same time, and it's really something to be a part of. And I appreciate being able to be a part of that with all of you. And that includes the DOT folks and the engineers. So I'm not leaving anybody out. What we do is important. And it's not just we make payroll and we've got some employees and we've got insurance. What we do is important. We provide the infrastructure for the state of Florida. And that is, most of the time, the #1 infrastructure system in the country, according to whatever polls, the truckers poll, whatever you're reading. We help move goods around the state, kids on school buses. We impact the lives of others, and we provide for a higher quality of life because of what we do in this room. And yes, we make payroll, we provide jobs, most of the folks have interns, we teach, we innovate. We provide scholarships. There are not many other groups that I know of in the state of Florida that provide the number and dollar amount of the scholarships that we do to kids that aren't even coming in our industry. I sit on that scholarship committee, and 2 years ago, one of the kids wanted to be an actor, and we said, absolutely, here's a huge scholarship. There aren't many groups that do that. We have safety committees. We want to take care of our folks, but not just our folks, the DOT's folks, the traveling public, the taxpayers. We want to take care of everybody. We're not just looking out for our own. But we do look out for our own. When something bad happens, whether it's a piece of equipment stolen, whether it's somebody gets hurt, or worse, the phone calls go out, the contributions go out, the donations go out, because we're a family, and it's important. We make a difference, and it's something to be proud of. Again, for all the people that are new, and there are a lot of new faces here this year. We're almost 900 strong registered this year. Because of the week that it fell on, less kids, but a lot more adults, okay? And a lot of new faces walking around. So this is more for the new people. I'm gonna list off a few names and just look around and see all the smiles and the whispers going back and forth between people, just from the names that I'm going to mention, okay? Slade, Haran, Iggy, Albert, Emmett, Kike, Elmore, Graham, Laware, Nelson, Russell, Roberts, Anderson. That kind of sounds like a wrestling match, Roberts versus the Andersons, is that one? Kelly's, Weekly's, some ex-DOT folks, Watts, Barry, Prasad, some that aren't here with us anymore, but mean a lot to all of us still. Nut Brown, Humphreys, Evans, Armando, Red. And then this next short list, I just like the way they sound when they went together. We've got a JB, we've got a JC, we've got a Randy, a Rammy, a Rusty, we've got a Queen Bee, Bonnie, we've got Alligator Ron. I guarantee you there aren't many associations with an Alligator Ron. We've even got a guy named Tinker, and then we've got one guy that they even wrote a song about. Okay, any guesses? See what I'm talking about? Right? All right. So y'all don't understand. We had trouble putting this stuff together, and I was like, that one has to go. That one has to work. All right. Bob's been here 29 years, come this January. Unbelievable. I also go with him to D.C., gone up to Tallahassee, walked the halls with him. Unbelievable amount of respect for Bob Burleson. Now, like I said, I went to my first convention 18 years ago, so I've got to watch and be more involved and see more and more of what he does over the last 18 years. Now, some days I think he should be more like this.
Fredo, you're my older brother, and I love you. But don't ever take sides with anyone against the family again.
But most days, it's much more like this.
This man right here is my great-grandfather. He's the first cat herder in our family.
Herding cats. Don't let anybody tell you it's easy.
Anybody can herd cattle. Holding together 10,000 half-wild short hairs, well, that's another thing altogether.
Being a cat herder is probably about the toughest thing I think I've ever done.
I got this one this morning, right here, and if you look at his face, it's just ripped to shreds.
And you guys know it's true. That's what's bad. So Bob is retiring. All right. So we are moving, as John said, we are moving to find a new president. Committee is formed. It's been advertised, and we're about to be interviewing. More than ever, our family must get together, stick together, and stay engaged. That includes the DOT and the engineers. We have friends in Tallahassee, elected officials, the legislators, that support us, but that could change. Even with the help of the Ballard Group, who is our lobbyist, that could change. We have a fairly business-friendly environment. Even with the help of our board attorney, the Vizina firm, that could change too. We have a labor shortage. We all are feeling the pinch of that. It affects our industry. How are we going to work through that as a group? Do we need to have ideas, throw some ideas out there to the DOT? Do we need to work different hours? Do we need to avoid night work? Are we having trouble people getting in our industry because we're doing so much night work? And again, that's not just us. It's the DOT has the same struggle that we do. A lot of the talk today that we had at the roundtable discussion with the department revolved around safety. Unfortunately, the folks that drive through our work zones using these are not as safe as they used to be. Our people are put at risk. We started 3 years ago yelling and screaming about it, and it looks like we're just now going to start getting some attention. But it's something that if we don't stay engaged as a group, we're not going to get it pushed through, and we need to protect our people. Comments that we've heard in the past about not inconveniencing the traveling public, the taxpayers, does not hold water anymore. Our people need to be protected. And the only way that happens but that doesn't happen if 3, 4, 5 of us are yelling and screaming. It's got to be the whole group. Stay engaged, please. We've got new people in DOT. We've got new people in all of our companies. Our department has a great work program, which we're all very appreciative of. But we need to work on those relationships with the department. New secretary, there are other people that will soon be on the drop. Everybody needs to stay engaged. These are not critical things. They're just challenges that as a group, which is why you're all members here at FTBA, as a group, this is what we're going to work through. Bob's reign is coming to an end soon, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but it has been the reign of Bob Burleson for 29 years, which has been a great thing for this group. But he's not going to be here forever. We're going to get a great guy to replace him, or gal. but it still is going to require everyone in the room to stay engaged and to participate. Invest in your folks. We have committees that need staffing. We have committees. Your line folks are the ones that know what's going on out in the field, that can debate the DOT on certain specifications and how they're impacting us. They need to stay engaged. You need to make them stay engaged. Contractors that you're working for or with or working for you, subcontractors, if they're not members here, get them to join. This is the strongest voice for our industry in the state. I hope that's why all of you are members and have been for a long time. And I really don't have a whole lot to say beyond that, other than it's football season. And if you thought, again, I was going to get out of here without putting that up there, roll tide. Oh, boo all you want. You know it's true. All right, so I'm done. See how short that was? And with that, I turn it back over to Bob Burleson.